to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today we got Brandon.
Hello.
We're here to talk about games and things.
Some games and some things.
Oh, you got lots of new things right now.
I got two
Ghost of
new
Yotei
things.
and Call of Duty.
Yeah, I got two new things. Which do you want to hear about first? There's one I have more to say, and then there's one that I have less to say.
Ghost of Yotei.
Okay, good. Good, because you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do Ghost of Yotei, and then I'm going to let you talk about your games. Then I'm going to talk about Call of Duty, and then we're going to segue that into news.
That's fine.
All right, cool. So, Ghost of Yotei. Yotei, actually. I have been playing this game. Not a whole lot, mostly because I've been busy, but I did play a decent chunk of this game. And I really, really like this game. I think it's very fun.
Okay.
I've played Ghost of Tsushima. That was a game I quite enjoyed when it originally came out. And I also really liked its multiplayer co-op add-on that was free. Good game. I even thought about rebuying that on my PC the other day because there was a big sale. But Ghost of Yotei, I keep calling it Yotei, Ghost of Yotei. Ghost of Yotei is just, it's better. Like, I think it has a better story than the first one, and I think the combat is better. And I'll explain why. So, the story, first and foremost, is the one that is the thing that grabbed me the most. And I see a lot of people saying that it's like a generic revenge story and yada 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 blah blah blah. However, I would say 99% of samurai movies are a revenge story. That's just samurai movies in general. And this one's very well done. So essentially, this is how this goes. You play at one point. You play the past and the present. Atsu, which is the character's name that you play as. That's the main character, Yotei. And her quest is to kill the Yotei 6, which are the people and the clan that murdered your entire family in front of you and then left you for dead, stabbed to a tree that was burning. Now, it's not exactly explained how you got off of that tree and survived, but you did. And your whole goal in life, after going away for 16 years and coming back to your homeland of the mountains of Yotei, is to hunt down these people and kill them. What happened essentially was you were out, like, gathering mushrooms and everything for your mother, and you ran into this guy that saved you from a wolf. You let him back to your house, you know, to give him food and whatnot. Father is a master swordsman. Like, he crafts the best swords and this, that, and the other. And when you get back to your house and bring this guy with you, you find out that this guy is someone your father deserted way back when, which caused that guy's entire family to die due to starvation. And this guy is out for revenge, so he murders your entire family and then tries to kill you. And that's kind of the plot. But it goes a step further because it's like a very bleak plot for a game like this. Like, yes, I already told you what I've told you, which that's pretty fucked up to begin with. But what I think makes this game feel more heavy, plot-wise, is the whole time you were playing as Atsu, she says that her plan is to hunt down and kill the people that destroyed, like, that murdered her family and left her for dead. And after that is done, she will kill herself and join her family.
Okay.
Which is pretty heavy. I don't think I've heard a protagonist, like, just outright say, I'm going to kill myself after I'm done with my journey. I don't think I've ever really, especially not like a PlayStation protagonist. I guess you could say, like, maybe Kratos, but, like, they didn't let him. You know what I mean?
Or you have, like,
and also, it wasn't
ones
really
sometimes where they'll be like, well, this thing will kill me, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no, this isn't even like this thing will kill me. She just outright says, when my journey is completed, I will kill myself and join my family. And it's like, Jesus Christ, this is nuts. And the way it kind of works is, at least at the beginning, there are, like, bounty boards that you can get the bounties for the people, and then you hunt down the people, and you fight these bounties, and you kill them, and or you don't kill them, and you get them to, you know, tell you where the people you're hunting down are, essentially. So it's kind of like if you've ever played the Lord of the Rings games that had the Nemesis system, it's sort of like that, but not really. It's like you go and fight the cronies of the main bad guys, and after you've defeated a bunch of them and defeated like a major bounty to do with them, you then get some kind of information on where the guys you're looking for are. And you're given an option of going there and, then taking out each one of the Yotei 6 at your own pace and how you want. So, for instance, I've literally just been hunting down dens, looking around places, exploring the world, this, that, and the other, and I've only killed 2 people, and I think I have like 10 or so hours in this.
Okay.
And I know some people have finished like the entire game in like 20 or so hours. And I know that's not going to happen with me because I keep just getting distracted. Because I would say that is a thing that happens in this game. It's very immersive in a way where like you'll just be out like exploring, and then something happens, and now you're doing this quest because you got pulled into it that you weren't expecting. And I think that's the element of that's an element that makes this game very interesting, because I've seen this in other games. I mean, I've seen it in Ghost of Tsushima as well, but I feel like it feels more organic here, like it's happening naturally, you know. So I really like that aspect of it. And a lot of times I'll go to like encampments that have been taken over, and you'll do the usual thing where you kill all the bad guys there and free the people, and then the people that used to live there come back in, and that gives you like a new trade post and whatnot, and more information. And these people will give you like little maps, and when you pull up your map, it'll have like a little parchment paper, and the parchment paper will have like an outline, like a silhouette like outline of some part of the map, and you have to find that and like place it down. And then once you place it down, then it actually marks the place, and you can actually go there and do the thing. And granted, you can go there and do the thing without doing that, but it makes it so you know exactly where you're going. You set a waypoint, that sort of deal. There's a few other things here, like gameplay wise, that I think is very interesting. There's something called Miike mode, which is based off of one of my favorite directors, Takashi Miike, who is very well known for his like samurai or just gritty films in general. And in that mode, which it is literally named after him, it pulls the camera in closer to your character, and it adds like more gore and more mud and more like viscera basically when it's pulled in like closer. So like just kind of, it's a different way of playing the game that feels more it feels like more brutal, that sort of thing. But because that, it does warn you that it pulls the camera in too much, so that like you won't be able to see some of the people that are off screen doing things, and it warns you of that. And I'm like, I don't really care because I'm just gonna be fighting them anyway. And I have not gone back since I turned on Miike mode, and yeah, it's really good. So like one of his like well-known movies is he made the movie 13 Assassins. If you've ever seen that movie. So that's why it's Miike mode, another samurai movie, assassin.
Okay.
That sort of deal. But anyway, yeah, that's my favorite way of playing the game. And then I also added another thing, which is Watanabe mode, which is when you are out exploring, it plays music that's directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, who is the creator of Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo and that sort of thing. So it has his style, like lo-fi beats that play. So it's like kind of calming and chill when you're just exploring out there. You can hear the like lo-fi music playing instead of like, the blowing of the wind and this, that, and the other. And it's chill. I really like that. I like the vibe of that. So my preferred way to play this game is Miike and Watanabe mode turned on, and it's just really fun. It's really immersive. That. So yeah, I just get lost playing this game. Like I'll start playing it, and I'm like, oh, I've been playing for like 4 hours, and I didn't even realize it. And I've done nothing. I've literally just explored and done nothing to progress the main story whatsoever. It's just really fun. The game's, if I had to say anything, it is fun from a gameplay perspective. But the story is like very like it's just like it's very heavy, and it just doesn't care about like it makes you feel like the main character you're playing as does not actually care. So when you do things that someone that doesn't care about their life would do, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's a very good game. So I need to play more. I'm going to play more. I need to do more of the main story, but I just keep getting distracted doing other things.
Well, I mean, that's good. That means they made an enjoyable world to explore. So not necessarily a bad thing.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that's Ghost of Yotei.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and talk about your game.
All right. Well, so Donkey Kong Bonanza, I finished up the actual content for Emerald Rush now too. So I'm like donezo with that game. I had a really good time. I got to try out the secret final boss, uh, which was interesting. It's the same pre-final boss. So not the final boss, but the same pre-final boss for the main game, except at Donkey Kong's Island, which is interesting. And it's just takes place over the course of the island. You kind of just zooming around and kind of battling, which was fun. It definitely struggles, just like in the main game. I definitely hit some frame rate issues with it, I would say, but playable. Not necessarily like game breaking, but definitely something that's there. I just still really love Emerald Rush. I just had such a good time with it, and the more kind of skills and stuff that I unlocked with it, skills, perks, whatever they call them, it was really good. So I had a great time with it. I definitely got my time with it. I just checked my time on the Switch app with this game from I guess start to finish, and that's I guess 100%ing the game and 100%ing Emerald Rush, and I had 90 plus hours on it. So yeah, it's pretty sizable considering. So I thought that was all really good. So I had a great time with it. I talked about Emerald Rush quite a few times the last few episodes. So people are interested, I'd say go listen to maybe last week's. I talked about it quite a bit. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it now, but all really good. When I think, what are your final unlocks in the thing? You unlock the rest of the costumes, or some extra costumes that you get through Emerald Rush, which is really cool, and then you unlock all the extra soundtracks from it. So that's really nice. I think they have I don't know what they call it, but one of the kind of like climactic tracks for Emerald Rush, I think, is really fun. It's kind of a nice mashup, a lot of the Donkey Kong Bonanza music. So and kind of like a frantic pace. So that was really good. So that's that. Second thing I played, Mario Galaxy 2. So the Mario Galaxy re-releases came out this week. So I have a bit to say about them. I definitely, so in terms of where they are from like a game, like I guess how Nintendo would probably classify it, I guess I would say. Definitely well within the remaster territory as opposed to the like HD area. I'd say honestly, this is probably closer in quality to say like Metroid Prime Remastered versus say like Donkey Kong HD. This game looks.
Can I?
Huh?
I was gonna say, can I interrupt and say
Yeah, sure.
something? Okay, so I've watched some analysis on this game, and it is a very lazy rematch. And I would it's bottom of the barrel tier in my opinion from what I've seen. Now I know you're enjoying it. That's totally fine. You can enjoy the game all you want, but from everything I have seen, technically analysis wise, this was not a game that was worth the price point that they are charging for it with what they have given you here, because they've done things even like for Galaxy 1, for example, they didn't even change the actual HUD elements. They're still locked at 1080p while the game is 4K, and it is just like, it's noticeable when you look at it.
I haven't booted up Galaxy
Now, I
1,
don't
so
know
I
if
really don't know
you've
what that looks like
yeah.
comparatively.
Now, obviously, Galaxy 2 is a different beast, and I've heard that they did a good job with it, but it is still like a case of like, you could. It's not a big leap, like you were just saying. It's not something that's like a big, huge difference. It's just kind of like, it's 4K now, and that sort of
I don't
deal.
know, going from
Whereas Galaxy 1 is literally just like
Galaxy 2, I
kind of
mean, in terms of
late.
re-releases, this is literally going from what, standard definition to 4K.
Technically, but not really.
How
But
not
I'll
technically?
let you have it. So I'm gonna be a actually
Okay.
guy for one
Mm-hmm.
second and say that the Nvidia Shield, specifically in China,
Mm-hmm.
had a remaster of Galaxy 1 and 2 at 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
And the 1080p version that they got for Galaxy 1 was better than the original remaster of Galaxy 1 that we got like 3 years ago. Now, I don't know how it is now, but, because I haven't seen anything other than some of the technical aspects from it and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. But what I'm saying is it's not going from standard definition if they're using that code, which things seem to point towards that being the case.
I really don't even understand what you're talking about.
Okay, all right. So you're saying standard definition, which would be like 480p,
Yeah.
which is what Mario Galaxy 2 was when it first
Yes.
released. I'm saying they've already made a remake of Mario Galaxy 2, but it was only released in China, and that remake ran at 1080p. So it's going from 1080p to 4K. That's what I'm saying.
And you're suggesting that they use that as the base for this?
I'm suggesting that they're using that as the basis for this. Yes, from what I've seen.
I don't think
that
I've
is what
seen
I'm
that
suggesting.
anywhere in analysis. Do you have any references?
So the only references I had for that was the basis for the Galaxy 1 remaster that they were doing when they released it on the Switch back when they did the Mario 3D All-Stars thing. So this is, like I said, what I'm seeing here is looking like it's the same sort of deal that they did there. And what I'm saying is, even if it's not, this isn't going from standard definition to 4K. It's going from 1080p to 4K. That's what I was saying, because it has been done in 1080p before, not 4K. That's it. So
yeah, but they've gone through and they've re-updated almost every texture in this game. Like it.
I'd have to. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'll have to look more into that aspect.
Yeah, and Digital Foundry's
because
review for
because
this
I do need
the set of games was
more
pretty
information.
impressive. They were not disappointed with it. They said it. They said technically it runs really well. They said both games don't even drop.
Yeah, they
frames.
did say they run well.
They said it runs natively in 4K. It's not like it's upscaled to 4K. It runs natively in 4K.
Yes, native for both of them, but the assets for the HUD are 1080p. That's part of the reason why I was thinking that they were using like an offshoot of the Nvidia Shield version. That's part of the reason, but I don't know for sure. This is just from like looking into some things here and there and that thing. I don't think anyone's ever confirmed or said that 100%, but I do think there are a lot of things that lead to being able to infer that, which is what I think I was trying to say when I was explaining my take on the entire situation, such as the HUD element still being 1080p on both games. So that's kind of where I was coming
But
from.
that could just be a limitation of maybe like the Switch stuff too, because it's the same cartridge works in both systems.
It is one of those, isn't it? I keep forgetting that even on the original
Yeah,
Switch.
it's not even one of those weird ones where it's like, hey, you got to download a patch. It's just like, yep, if it's on the Switch, it plays like this. If it's on the Switch 2, it plays in this. And it doesn't even like think it's like a Switch 2 game. Like when I boot it up, it's like Switch 1, and then it's like,
okay,
it's already like in 4K. Like there's nothing wild to do there.
Okay, leave everything I said in, but I will eat crow right now because I legitimately forgot that this was a Switch 1 game. I know we've already had the conversation about it before when Nick was on a few weeks back, but I already had forgotten that this was a
That's
Switch 1
okay.
game. So that makes way more sense. And now, yeah, that adds up way more than them using the fucking Chinese version. But I thought it was from what I had seen because it looked similar. That's all
that's
saying.
fair. And I mean, I think people are going to make those mental kind of like connections, kind of with different things.
I'm people.
I mean, I'll say honestly.
But now that you've given me that information, my brain's like, "Wow, you're so fucking stupid."
No.
to me, not to you.
No, I mean it's fine. And like I said, obviously people's value for this game is going to differ, kind of depending on what they're looking for. Honestly, I kind of I find myself wowed playing this game. because it definitely it feels like a nice jump up from where it had been. Like I don't feel like how do I put it? Like I don't feel like playing this like I don't feel like this is kind of like a Wii game that's just kind of been like upscaled. Like it definitely feels like I'm like, oh, they actually I feel like they put effort into this. Like this looks a lot nicer than I remember it. Like you can even see the stitching on like Mario's, like they redid some of the models and the textures even on like Mario. Like you can see the stitching on his jeans and stuff. Not like it's like a huge deal, like end of the world, but I'm like, oh, it looks a lot nicer. It plays a lot nicer. Um, and just some of the other textures, even some of this pre-release stuff where they're like, hey, some of this stuff looks pretty bland. Nope, that was just pre-release. The textures are all back to where they should be and look pretty nice.
Mm.
Um, in movement. There's nowhere I'm like, oh, this Digital Foundry. That when they go through, they kind of pointed out some difference in terms of like some of the textures. Some they're kind of like, well, some of these are not as detailed in some ways as maybe like the previous ones. Like it looked like maybe they'd gone for some more like intricate designs in some of the ground textures, but they're like, it's not really like a technical issue. It's more of a design choice, and people's opinions are going to vary a little bit on kind of if they like big circles of grass or they like small circles of grass, or if they like kind of these bigger blocks in some places or smaller blocks. But honestly, all looks really good. I don't have any complaint with how it looks. It runs really smooth. Digital Foundry, when they did it, I think they did clock it at like one place specifically for like a single frame. It dropped down to like 59 FPS, but that was it. They did not find anything else. They said they went through like all the kind of problematic areas of the game and didn't find anything. um for me, it's been flawless. Like it just runs really well. One kind of pro tip I guess I would have for people: update your Joy-Con controllers. Did not even think about it. It definitely makes a difference if you're using them for like the pointer controls. It does seem like that they had put out a patch at one point, and they were much more stable after I updated them than before. Um, Before I was like, oh man, I'm like, it is really easy to recenter your cursor with this game because you don't have the sensor bar like you would on the Wii version.
Oh, how's this on handheld? I just thought about
So I
that.
did actually play some of it on handheld. So if you played, say, Mario All Stars 3D, and you played Mario Galaxy, it plays similarly. But there's not really like a big issue because the pointer's really just for like some slow movement stuff. With this one,
Okay,
you have Yoshi, and Yoshi can have some very fast, frantic sections. I
got
did
it.
play one Yoshi section with it. It was probably more difficult than had I played it in with like the pointer controls, but it was, I would
Hmm.
say, doable and manageable is what I would say. That's what I would put it as. Definitely a little bit more putting a little bit more on your plate because you kind of have to be like, you really have to be a lot more attentive to what you're doing in the case when you're playing with handheld, because generally when you're playing in handheld, the pointer, I feel like, is kind of like a passive thing on the screen. Like you're just kind of like, oh, it's here, it's doing things, collecting star bits, whatever. But with Yoshi, you really kind of need it to like lock onto things, because I'm like, I need him to jump to this platform real quick, and then he's got to use his tongue to latch onto this flower and swing across.
Hmm.
Um, so really, it's kind of like you're kind of using three hands at the same time, so you have to kind of be like really coordinated. It's like I said, it's really just kind of about management and making sure things are kind of planned out well. But I mean, I thought it worked well from when I did it. I didn't try like there's one, I think, because I love Mario Galaxy too. There's one Yoshi Star
Hmm.
which I have a feeling would be very difficult with it. Like one of those like really frantic ones with the chili peppers, but I didn't try that one.
I'm
Yeah.
be honest. The way you said chili peppers, I could only think of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I know we're not. It's not even in the
Yeah,
conversation.
when Yoshi goes to
But
Hotel
I
California, he's
I hate that's not a Red Hot Chili Pepper song.
That's a Red Hot Chili Pepper song, isn't it?
No, it is not. No.
Who sings Hotel California? Oh wait, what am I thinking about?
Um.
It's like a hotel song.
Eagles. Eagles.
No, that
Right.
is.
Eagles.
But they don't they reference it? Is that what I'm thinking about?
Under the bridge. Under the bridge. Right. Under the bridge.
Now I have to look up the song, 'cause I know what
Ah,
I'm.
fuck. What the fuck?
Uh, is it this?
Yeah. It's under the bridge.
I don't think that's the song I'm
Right.
thinking about though. No, it's not that one.
I don't ever wanna feel the city I live in, the city of angels. Okay, no, wait. There's so many Red Hot Chili Pepper songs that are that have to do with
I
California.
know. That's what I'm thinking about. And I'm like, no, what song is it though?
Other side? No.
Uh,
It's Californication. I'm so dumb. Why can't I think of that? You're thinking of Californication.
I just,
Dream of
I think that's the song I'm thinking
Californication.
about. Because that's what I clicked on first.
Dream of Cal. And there's also Danny California.
I know, I saw that one too, and I looked at that.
That one's from a Stadium Arcadia. Very underrated album. Great fucking album. That has Storm in a Teacup. Storm in a Teacup is a really good fucking song.
I don't think.
I really like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Can you tell?
Yeah, I don't think it's. It might be Danny California. Let me see.
Ah.
I don't think it's Californication.
Hmm.
Yeah, Danny California. That's the one I'm thinking about. Whichever
Okay.
one was in Rock Band, and I think it was Danny California.
Both.
Oh, both were? Then it's Danny
Yeah.
California. I'm pretty sure. I just listened to it and it sounded like the song I was thinking of. So no, not Hotel California. When Yoshi goes to visit Danny California, then yeah, that's the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Wasn't that a song? You know what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna get into what that song's about. I'm just.
Don't even know.
I don't think Yoshi should be visiting an underage girl. I'm just gonna say that right now.
You know, I woke up twice because I've been usually I think I've talked about this before. I'll use like different TV shows or things to kind of sleep, and I'll just kind of leave them
Yeah.
running during the night, just kind of like white noise. Lately, I've been using Robot Chicken, and the
Oh, that's such a
I
good
know,
show.
but the last 2 nights I've woken up to the video of like it's like a Yoshi's Island skit where it starts out with Mario like jumping off of Yoshi and letting him fall to his demise to get like some coin or something. And then Yoshi goes around and murders everyone. And it's like, welcome to Yoshi's Island. Yeah, that's kind of more in line with all that. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's where that whole kind of mental, maybe that's connected. That's the Red Hot Chili Peppers connection there.
And maybe you just want to listen to some Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's good.
Awesome. But anyways, yeah, no. So those.
I want to listen to some Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's why I brought it up. I think.
Well, now it's in your mind. You're gonna have to get it out of there.
I'm just gonna listen to their entire discography again, and then I'll be fine. Blood Sugar Sex Magic, great album, great fucking.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Back to Mario Galaxy 2. Yeah, I think the sections are doable, like slightly more difficult than if you were doing it in with the pointer controls, but it seems like they work well. So, I like I said, it was a little bit more difficult when I tried it, but it was not unmanageable. Was what I would say when I tried the one stage that I did. So that worked really well. If anything, my biggest problem is because I was jumping back and forth between Donkey Kong and Mario, like I kept on getting buttons confused. Because I'd be like, jump. I'm like, oh no, that's not the jump button anymore. Yeah, so those kind of things. But the other thing that I really like about this too, and it took me a while to get used to it because when I picked it up, I went right into like Mario Galaxy like mind mode where I'm like I'm playing with a Wii remote. And then I forget about how nice it is you can make Mario spin with just pressing the Y button. And that's great. So you don't have to do all like the waggle if you don't want to. Options there, but you don't necessarily need it. And I think I said it already to some degree, but just in case I didn't finish my thought. But yeah, updating the Joy-Cons, and I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but at least it felt like it to me. It seemed to make the gyro controls more stable, so the Switch 2 didn't seem to lose its place as often. When I did that, I think yesterday or the day before, I only had to kind of like reposition the controller like on a stage by stage basis instead of like mid stage. So it seemed to hold its place much better. Which is good. It's not like it's unmanageable to do it when you're playing anyways, but just to kind of have it even more stable is even better. So that was great. What else? They had the storybook in here. That was kind of nice. I kind of glanced through that when they did that. Otherwise, if you've never played Mario Galaxy 2, I do think that's like one of the best Mario 3D games. I think it runs really well and has some great variety in its stages. There's a lot of really new and interesting stuff that they do with gameplay, especially compared to Mario Galaxy. Like Mario Galaxy 2 is really like hey, we had an awesome idea with Mario Galaxy. Let's see if we can think of like even more crazy shit with it. And it really works very well. Um, Oh, one so there is one thing that's like top tier feature that they added in this game that's really not it's not anything you would ever think about, and most people could give two shits, but it's noticeable for people who played Mario Galaxy 2 before. They added autosave, which is so freaking nice. So when you finish a star now, it does not stop the game, ask if you want to save, and then continue. It just saves, and then you're good to go. You just literally just come out of the stage and you're right back into it again. So that saves a lot of like dead time from the old game that you probably didn't even realize you were wasting time on until you notice it's not there. One thing I wish that they did add in this game is like it's really easy to get extra lives in Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2, but for whatever reason it does not save them, and it still does not save them in this version. So you if you leave the game and come back out and you like I think when I first played it, I'm like, oh, 42 lives, and then I was like, I'm gonna quit and play Donkey Kong over, but then it came back. I'm like, yay, back to 3 lives, hooray! Not a big deal. Like it's pretty manageable, but that kind of stuff's all there. Otherwise, at this point, I've already beaten Mario Galaxy 2. I'm just going through and collecting the rest of the
Doing the
stars.
extra stuff.
Yeah, I'm already up to 90
Yeah.
stars so far, so I've seen like a very
Damn.
good chunk of this game. Um,
That's crazy.
yeah,
That's a
no,
lot.
it is, but it's so fun, and a lot of these stars really just don't take that long to get through. So it's like going in. A lot of stuff's muscle memory, just kind of stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this, or I'm like, oh, I really hate this star, and let's just get through this as fast as possible, so I don't have to do it again anymore. But no, it really works really well. They have the assist mode available for people who need it. I've not tried it, so I don't really know exactly what all it entails, but
Mm.
it is there for people who
Mhm.
want it. They've added amiibo support into the game, as we've talked about before. I've also not tried that. The features itself not terribly exciting, but for people who want them, they're great. I think it's if you scan in a Mario amiibo, you get kind of that like that mushroom that gives you the extra health. If you scan in a Rosalina amiibo, it gives you like a 1-up, and if you scan in like anything else, it's just like here's a coin or a star piece, like nothing wild. So
Yeah.
it's not like if you don't have the amiibo, you're like, oh man, I'm really missing out on this stuff. Like, no, don't feel like that. Just kind of nice bonuses if you want them. Especially, I think if anything, honestly, the Mario one's probably the most practical because it's like, okay, well, here's some extra health if you don't want it to go into like a boss or a more difficult challenge or something. So
Yeah.
you have all that options. What else do I have to say about Mario Galaxy 2? Music's great. That's always a lot of fun. Um,
Bro's like, let me tell you about a 20-year-old game
I
real
know,
quick.
exactly. But that's the thing. That's the thing. Because realistically, like 20 years ago, that's a long time. There's a lot of people who probably legitimately have not played this game, and this
No,
is their
I
first
agree. I
opportunity.
understand.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree, and I understand completely. It's just it's wild to think about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it is. It's
Because we're sitting here and I'm treating this as I've played this game a million
yeah,
times. I really like this game, but I don't like that Nintendo held back and then re-released it in a fucking $70 package or for $40 by itself instead of having it in the last one. That's where I'm coming at it from. There are plenty of people that are probably like, "Oh man, I can finally play Galaxy 2. I never got to play
yeah.
this one." And I'm just like, and I just fucking disintegrate when I think about that.
Yeah, I do appreciate like on one hand I understand why Nintendo maybe did not release it in the last one.
Hmm.
Um
I don't.
well, I think their big hiccup with the Switch generation was because the Switch Lite was somewhat of a popular model, and it did not allow you to like really easily play with like pointer controls because you couldn't hook it up to your TV. I mean, you could use pointer
I don't
controls.
think they care about the point of controls. I think they literally just held this back so they could get more
Uh,
money. I think it's very obvious that that's what
but like I already
happened.
said, the Yoshi stuff, it is more difficult without it if you're playing on a handheld. Like it is not the
So I
ideal
get that, but
experience.
how many people only play on only play on the TV or use a TV instead of playing handheld? Because I'll tell you this right now, I have tons of friends that bought a Switch too. They have never played it in 4K mode because they only play just like they only played the original Switch.
Yeah.
they only play it handheld.
But that's fine.
So like, I think there's a lot more people that only play the Switch and the Switch
But the
2
thing is,
handheld
though,
than there is on the
but the
TV.
thing is,
So I
though,
don't think it would matter then, you know?
but if you have a Switch 2, you can just detach the Joy-Cons and you can use the kickstand and you can still play it that way. I played
And
so
see, that
much of
would make a
Mario
lot of
Galaxy
sense if this
1
wasn't also
All-Stars
released on
that way with the
Switch.
Switch. Like it is a pretty reasonable way to play, like if you want to do it. It just the Switch Lite just doesn't have that option at all, really.
You know what you can play this game on? Because it's the Switch Lite.
I mean, you can now. At this point, I think Nintendo's like, we don't give a shit about the Switch anymore. We're just gonna drop stuff off.
I don't think they gave a shit about what you're thinking. I think you're giving them too much credit, personally. I think it was just to get people to double dip. And you've got to admit, Nintendo loves when people double dip.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're a company. Like at the end of
And
the
I
day,
think this is just another one of those
at the end of the
cases.
day, we like to hold these companies up to high standards, but at the end of the day, they're corporations. Their goal is to make as much frickin' money as possible. And that's what they're
That's
going to
true.
do. And like I said, realistically, they treated this closer to say like Metroid Prime Remastered versus like Donkey Kong HD in terms of quality of the remaster and also in terms of pricing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's
Well, they treated it closer to Donkey Kong in terms of pricing. They treated it
no,
closer to.
they did not treat. If they treated it closer to Donkey Kong pricing, this game would have been $140 with a discount down to $120 if you bought them together. Donkey Kong HD was $60, and that.
Do I need to remind you that Metroid Prime HD was $40 for it? Or are you about to say, oh well, this game you can buy them separately for 40 each? Because I'm gonna slap you. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm saying, but I mean these are Wii games that were remastered, and they're charging $40 a piece. Which I mean, realistically, they did the same thing with Metroid Prime. They used the Wii version as a base. They remastered it, and they charged $40 for
Yeah,
it.
I remember when
Mhm.
they bundled Metroid Prime 1 and 2 together for $70 on Wii. That was pretty cool. And they split it up for $40 a piece.
But the thing is though,
Wait,
Ben,
that
if
didn't
they
happen.
if they release Metroid Prime 2, they're gonna charge $40 for that. Maybe.
No, they're not. They're gonna do the exact same thing as. Well, I guess yes, but I think they're gonna do the exact same thing and release Metroid Prime 2 and 3 in a package like this, and then
And do $70 for them or
charge
$40 a piece.
$70, and then the 48 each. Yeah, I think they're gonna do that.
I mean, yeah.
I think that is Nintendo's new direction. Like that's where they're going, and I don't like that direction because it makes them a lot like every other company. Like Nintendo was the one company that I was like, oh shit, okay, well, and then sometime, at least back, I would say before the Switch, and now I don't know, man. I just
I
have
don't
a
know.
very bad
I think
feeling about
you
the
have a lot of
direction that
nostalgia
Nintendo's going.
glasses on. I mean, Nintendo has always been like they price things how they want, and they price things how they think people want. I mean, think about it.
I know.
The Mario and DK remaster for the Switch was a $60 game, I believe, if I recall correctly. And that was a Game Boy Advance remaster. That really had no business being $60, even as a remaster. But they've been doing this for generations. It's not totally out of their wheelhouse for what this is. But I do think that they put the effort into this. Whether or not you think it's priced appropriately, in that regards, 20, 30, $40, that's, up to personal preference and, how much value you think you would get out of this game. But, at least I would say rating this game in terms of if someone's never played it before and never had the opportunity to play it before, actually kind of like what Nick said, I guess, when we talked about this last, if you were going to go through and you were like, oh, I'm going to go through and, play the original and try to piece it together and, buy everything, you're going to end up spending just as much to kind of recover the old stuff to play it that way as you would if you had a Switch.
No, you would spend a whole lot more, honestly. You right now with current gaming prices, I think a Wii alone is like $60, somewhere in there. Maybe 40, somewhere in there. But either way, you still have to have.
I think didn't we decide that Wii's were more expensive than that last time we talked about it?
Yeah,
I think when we talked about it, because I think someone dropped
check.
some ridiculous price, and I was like, no way. I'm like, they basically were like trash when I worked at GameStop because there was such an overabundance.
Yeah, it was probably me because I do a lot of buying and selling. So I'm gonna look at a Wii. A Wii right now sold today, actually a few hours ago for $40. So 40
Okay.
bucks for a Wii. That's not counting the game. So let me look at Mario Galaxy. I'm just gonna put 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mario Galaxy 2 case inserts, everything plain sold also today for $25.
Okay.
So we're kind of already getting to the price of these games just to play them again. And this isn't even counting shipping and handling and all that shit,
Mhm.
you know. Like I get it. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. If you want to play the original, yes. But there is another way you can look at these, right? Because then you also would either need a Switch or a Switch 2, depending on how you're going to play it. Which I still think if you were playing these on Switch, it's kind of a gigantic scam. But if you're playing on Switch 2 and you already have a Switch 2, you spent $500+ to play these 20-year-old
Yeah.
games, and that's a little steep, you know.
Yeah, and that's understandable. But realistically though, if you own both systems, and you
Can I be honest, right? I'm gonna be honest right
sure.
now, all right? I'm I'm going to do this because I will always go to bat for
Hmm.
emulation. I think one of the best ways I ever played Mario Galaxy was on the Steam
Hmm.
Deck because of the touch pads that they had that allowed you to use it like a mouse pointer. So it was like you were pointing it at the screen with the Wii pointer, but it was a touchpad instead. And that was a really fun way to emulate these games. But, and this is the reason why I brought
Hmm.
that up, that's still $300.
Yeah.
So, like, and I understand what you're saying, is what I'm saying. But I also think, like, it's kind of all irrelevant. What's going to matter at the end of the day is, like, if you think it's worth the price that's originally.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
personally, I think it should have been a little bit cheaper. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's right. And my only point was
Specifically for the original Switch
yeah.
version. If the original Switch version was $60, I would have a lot less problems because then it'd be like you're paying $10 to upgrade to the Switch 2
Yeah.
version. And it's like, okay, I get that. I get 4K with the Switch 2 version. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But like, if I don't have a Switch 2, I'm looking at this as like a devil's advocate sort of thing. If I don't have a Switch 2, you're still paying for the 4K that you're not getting. That's what
And
I'm
that's
trying to
very fair.
say, and it kind of sucks, That I think that's a kind of shit price for the original Switch version. That's I guess at the end of the day how I
Yeah.
feel. $30 each for the Switch versions, I would have been like, okay, that's fine. A little steep, but that's fine. I would much rather have it be 25, make it a $50 purchase altogether. But whatever, inflation makes sense. $30 each, fine, that's fair. But I think 70 is just a little bit much for the original Switch version, at least.
Yeah, and that's reasonable. And especially considering too, kind of like you said, if you own the Wii version, or sorry, if you own the Wii and then you own like the Switch and you're kind of, or Switch and Switch 2 rather, and you're kind of like, wow, which version should I get? I mean, really, you're going to end up spending like pretty comparable amount of prices, and it's really like, I don't know, what do you want to spend the extra $10 or whatever to get the nicer versions of the game kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you're right. Really, at the end of the day, it all depends on what your personal preferences for playing, and it's a great game no matter
Mhm.
what you play it on. Each,
Yeah, no, they're great games. I will never say these games are bad. These Galaxy 1 and 2 are some of the best 3D Mario games.
yep.
Period. Like, in the discussion. There's no argument with me there. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, now this game is shit because they're charging prices that I don't agree with." No, this game will never be shit. It is fucking phenomenal. Especially Galaxy 2 in
Yeah,
my
I think
opinion.
Galaxy 2, like I said,
But
top tier for Mario games.
yeah,
Period. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I think personally, I really like Odyssey. I think Odyssey is probably like my top 3, but Galaxy 2 is probably like number 2, and then number 1 is, oh fuck, man, I don't know. I don't know where I'd place it, but it's in top 3. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
No, that's very reasonable. Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about a lot of them too. I'm like, oh, this is a great game, and I would be like, well, like I don't know how I'd rank them. And I think we've talked about it a couple times over the years, and I still don't remember even what I said last time. But
I think I have a stupidly unusual love for Sunshine. I really
yeah,
love
you do.
Sunshine. So I
Three
think
like if I was gonna pick my like kind of like favorite ish Mario games. Probably be like Galaxy, 3D World, and then like a lot of like Mario Brothers 3, Mario World. Like those are kind of.
I think just because of the setting, I think it's Sunshine, Galaxy 2, Odyssey,
No, Sunshine doesn't even.
which is a
Sunshine's near the bottom for me, to be
I know,
honest.
I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't. I think it's everything just kind of comes together for
Hmm.
me when it comes to Sunshine because yeah, I was a Sega kid and Sega games do a lot of like beach settings, nice, warm, inviting area, that sort of deal where like it's got the nice looking water. It feels like a little
Hmm.
vacation. And it's totally nostalgia because I know there are a lot of parts of Sunshine that are not good, but I can't put that aside. Like, that's really all it is at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Um, but yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say about Mario Galaxy. It's great.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, so I'll probably
Play them or don't. I'm not your dad.
I should probably have another update with this next week. Because I imagine that at least at the rate that I'm going through, I should finish up Mario Galaxy 2. I may
Mm-hmm.
dip into Mario Galaxy if I'm feeling excited. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for back-to-back Mario Galaxy, um but yeah, I would say, like I said, this is a very enjoyable game. And like I said, I think the one thing that amazed me was that every time I look at it, I'm like, wow, this game just looks so fucking good. Um, so yeah, that I was very happy with it. Um, Otherwise, I guess that's all I've been playing. No, I guess back to you. Hmm.
Yes. So I can talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 7, which is what I wanted to end our game chat with. So I played Black Ops 7, played it quite a bit.
Hmm.
There is a beta going on right now.
Hmm.
I think it ends on the 9th. And I don't like this game at all.
Yeah.
Like, I tried. I really tried to like this game. They even did something that they haven't done before, which I will commend them for.
Hmm.
Not only can you play the multiplayer in this beta, you can play
Oh wow.
zombies in this beta,
What?
which is
Yeah.
awesome. Like I'll say that right now. The zombies mode was probably the best part, even though it's just a horde, like a horde based and not round based, even though it does state that there will be round based zombies when you do click it and everything, so that's good. Zombie still feels really good to play. I really enjoyed my time playing zombies. I spend a lot more time playing that than I did playing multiplayer. Has some great maps, I think, with just some of the worst guns that I've used in a fucking Call of Duty game in a very long time. The guns do not feel satisfying to use, in my opinion, whatsoever. It feels like I'm shooting people with peas at all times, and I just did not like my time playing the multiplayer of this Call of Duty, like, at
Hmm.
all. It also felt very sluggish, which is weird because you had like a jetpack and the movement's a lot faster. But like it still felt like heavy, like I was carrying like fucking 10-pound weights, 20-pound weights, just stacked on my back while moving. And I didn't like that because it didn't have like snappy feeling of like past Black Ops games. And I've seen people recreate that feeling with clips, and I just don't get it. Like I don't get how they're doing it because it doesn't feel that way. I played on Xbox consoles. I have not installed on PC because I've heard of a lot of people having problems with the PC version. Very, very big problems. So I do not want to risk my fucking PC to play Call of Duty. So I've ignored it on PC, but playing it on console, it's not hidden. And I tried. I went in there and I gave it like a good, I want to say like 5-6 hours, and it's nothing. It feels like a throwaway Call of Duty that does nothing for me while playing it. So I don't like it. I think I got to like rank 14 or 15. I don't know, but I didn't have fun playing it like at all, and I'm really bummed because most of the time I can just turn my brain off and play some Call of Duty and enjoy my time. But there was nothing that was hooking me with this. Like I said, I think the maps are really well
Hmm.
made, and I think they're some of the better ones we've had for in a long time for a Call of Duty map. But like the guns just don't feel good to you.
No.
So like, why the fuck am I going to care about the maps if I don't care about shooting the people in them because it isn't fun to
Yeah,
do so?
that's a good
So
point.
I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, if I did have anything to tell it, like to say that it's good about it, is the map design does feel very nice.
Okay.
But maybe I'll try it later on down the line. I mean, it is a Game Pass title, but I don't know, man. I just don't see it. And I've tried really hard to go in with an open mind because I just keep seeing all these people be like, fuck Call of Duty, Battlefield better. Which, to be completely fair, I played like fucking 30 hours of Battlefield 6 when its beta was live, and I loved my time with that game. Something about this just feels very soulless, even though it's trying to not be like one of those guys. It's like, yeah, Call of Duty lost it. It ain't worth my fucking time.
Yeah.
And I feel that way coming away from it, even though I tried my hardest to not go in with that kind of mentality, which I feel a lot of other people aren't even trying to do. They're just writing it off without even trying it. But maybe they're doing so for the right reason. That's what I've walked away with, basically.
Okay. Yeah. When are you gonna get the game?
Well, I might play it on Game Pass because I do have at least one more month of Game Pass. Because and let's go into chatting, shall we? About news.
Yeah.
So Game Pass price is going up to $30 a month.
Yep.
For new subscribers. It started a few days ago.
Yes.
For already existing subscribers, it doesn't go into effect until the 4th of November. And it just so happens that my renewal date is always like the 29th, 30th at the end of every month. So I will have the month of November because of that. Because November 4th is when it goes into effect. So I'll have Game Pass for at least one more month, which will allow me to play Call of Duty through Game Pass if I want to give it a try. But after that, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with Xbox. Not even just with Game Pass, with Xbox entirely.
Yeah.
And I will explain my stance right now, and I think it's a very fair stance to have. I have said for years now that Game Pass is one of the best things in the entire industry. It's great. I have watched every Xbox like mini conference or whatever that they've had over even the last few years, and they've found something to walk away with and be like, hey, this is kind of cool and everything. But I think this year really hammered home the point that Xbox legitimately does not care about their current install base, and they think they can make more after they've already conditioned people with what they expect from Xbox, and now they're trying to quickly change their plans, which is going to end one or two ways. Either they'll somehow come out of this scot-free and become more like PlayStation, where, their main games will come to the other consoles like a year later, but be on PC, the day of. And they'll have some sales on some of their games. And they'll have some people that pay the $30 price tag for Game Pass to play those games immediately. Or, and this is the direction I see it going, to be completely honest, they're going to tank their entire company and Xbox division will no longer exist.
Yeah, I think that's...
And
I think that's kind of where I see it going
to
be honest.
There's a few reasons I see this happening. They are trying to release their Xbox Ally, their competitor to Steam Deck. It is 3 times the price.
Yeah.
Running on Windows. And not really much is going on there, because you're trying to tell me you're going to try to sell Game Pass for $30 alongside a $1,000 handheld system? Get the fuck out. It's going to fail. Yeah. You trying to tell me you're going to have these people that you've conditioned to play games through Game Pass and experience your catalog through Game Pass swap over to either paying much more or to just outright buying games? No, That's not going to happen. That's also going to fail because you've conditioned people since the Xbox One generation that this is the way you are. And now trying to change this so quickly is going to do nothing but completely kill the brand. I foresee this ending very Dreamcast-like for Xbox with everything I'm seeing. And it's happening very quickly. I've seen that places like Walmart and Sam's Club have completely removed Xbox consoles from their shelves already.
Yeah, Costco
I'm
has.
seeing,
I didn't see
yeah,
Walmart, but
Costco's
I
done it
saw.
too.
It doesn't surprise me because I saw Sam's Club did.
Some locations of Sam's Club and
Yeah.
Walmart have done it. Even like in some places, I've seen them like mark down the systems to get
Yeah, I
rid of
think
them,
Costco
like
marked them
heavily
down.
mark
Yeah.
them down. Yeah. So I see a lot of the same failures that Sega did when it was in the console business on repeat here right now from Microsoft. And I also see that we just got a new person that's taking over Microsoft, and immediately it's like, all right, now it's all hands on deck. Let's change everything we have built our console around and try to do something different very quickly while hoping that they won't tank the entire business, which I think they're going to. I think they're going to tank the system so hard that there will be no coming back from it, essentially. I don't think things like Call of Duty can save them. I don't think it matters that the new Forza is coming out on Xbox day one with Game Pass when you're already pretty sure it's also going to be on PlayStation, and I know it's going to be on PC. So I don't care. I see Game Pass, and many other people saw Game Pass as a convenience. The raising of the price by, what was it, 50%, I think?
Oh, for Game Pass?
Is just an inconvenience.
Yeah, it'd be a 50%
And now I don't think those people are going to stick around. And I know that for a fact because Microsoft had some of the craziest traffic that they've ever had since the original Xbox 360 generation when people rushed to cancel their Game Pass subscription after the announcement. It crashed their entire website. People canceling their account.
Yeah, not a good sign.
That is insane. Not a good sign.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, for like people who are really hardcore gamers, and if you're buying, say, like, a brand new, like, full priced release on a monthly basis, sure, you're still gonna get a lot of value out of it. But for most people who just kind of, maybe get a couple games a year, like, no, it's not gonna be worth it.
Yeah, and I don't foresee them being able to stick around using those people with Game Pass. And I sure as shit don't see the Game Pass working alongside the ROG Xbox Ally that was being marketed so heavily and comes out in, I think, 3 days.
Yeah, it's soon.
And no one has talked about it.
No, I mean,
let's couple that together with the rumors that they're not going to ever make another console after this, and everything is kind of looking pretty grim, to be completely honest.
So, to be fair, I guess they've adamantly denied that they've changed any future plans for the console, but obviously they're not going to be upfront about that.
You're not going to be honest if you're going to be leaving the business. You don't want people to rush to cash out.
Yeah.
You know?
And my guess is they're probably still waiting to see how some of these things change. But, if a year comes down the road and like the interest is even less than it is now, like they're not going to move forward with production. They're going to be like, okay, we're just going to wait and just pause here.
I feel like if they do not reverse this decision, which it doesn't look like they're going to, they won't have that choice.
You mean in terms of like not doing another system?
Yes, because the interest, like you were just talking about, will not be there. A lot of Xbox's current interest comes from people with Game Pass. You're not going to pay $30 a month for Game Pass. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have normal people paying $30 a month for Game Pass. Like the people that they want as their constant subscribers, they're not going to keep, because you got to also think about those people who are paying for Netflix, who are paying for, I don't know, Peacock, who are paying for HBO Max, who are paying for Disney Plus, who are paying for this, that, and the other. Now, $20 on top of that to get a whole bunch of games a month, awesome. But another $30, that will break the bank, and that will make people, like the casual people that would just subscribe to the service and forget about it, that will make those people unsubscribe. That will make them lose customers. That will make them lose players, and that will make them lose interest in the entire brand. And I have a direct example of that.
Yeah.
I bought my father a Series S last year. He has been paying $20 a month for Game Pass Ultimate, or cashing in his Microsoft points to also pay for Game Pass Ultimate. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but they also cut down how many Microsoft points you get and how that works. You can no longer directly buy Game Pass Ultimate with your Microsoft points from playing and doing things. So they actually cut out that reward benefit and changed it so like his points that would have gotten him 3 months right now for Game Pass Ultimate, he could trade in for $1.50. That's how hard they went on destroying their rewards program.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so when you have that kind of experience be slashed that quickly, and you're just a casual gamer that uses Game Pass to play your racing games or this, that, and the other, what's going to happen with those casual people is exactly what my dad is doing. He's going to get rid of his Xbox. He's going to get rid of the subscription. You've lost air. You've lost a subscriber. And that's going to happen a lot more with casuals than it would with the hardcore base. And they're hoping they can keep enough people around with the core Xbox fan base, but there already weren't enough because of the way they were marketing Xbox to begin with. They marketed Xbox to capture casuals and capture people and keep them in a space kind of like Apple does. That isn't going to happen when you then turn around and raise these prices massively while giving benefits that people don't want and taking away the ones that people had before. You're going to price out your casuals and you're going to kill your entire brand that you have created. And that is exactly what's happening right now. Because my father literally said, I think I'm going to get rid of my Xbox already. I'm sorry, but I cannot and will not pay $30 a month for something that I'm going to pay every now and again. And that's a way a lot of casual people will look at things when it comes to subscription services. Am I using this subscription service right now? Am I using it often? If it's past $20, a lot of people really do have a cutoff. So then if you no longer have the thing that's tethering you to Xbox to begin with, what's the point of keeping your Xbox? And that's what I've seen a lot of people going to that are the more casual people online. They've talked about it, and I've seen it actually happen with my own father. So I really do think that Xbox is kind of priced out of a lot of people. And I think, in a way, they're trying to do that on purpose, but not pricing out casuals because they wanted to keep those, but they fucked up because Xbox has always been stupid. Let's be completely honest here. Xbox has always made really stupid fucking decisions, just like PlayStation has. It's always happened. And we have talked about it before in the past. But this one is, they wanted to price out Game Pass because I think they legitimately, with their new like people that have taken over Xbox, I think they want to kill Game Pass. I think they want to have not enough subscribers to make it no longer feasible to slowly phase out the existence of Game Pass. I think they want to move away from Game Pass, and I will give you the reasoning why.
Yeah.
I have watched their last 3 presentations, and Game Pass is like a footnote. Like, it just gets like a little splash screen, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, you can play it on Game Pass. But it's like really fast. Where if you think about like even like a year or two ago, Xbox would be like, and you could play all of these titles day one on Game Pass. Game Pass, Game Pass. You know, they're hammering that shit to you. Like, you know, we want you to subscribe to Game Pass. We want you to do that. And here, when I've seen the most recent Xbox things, they're like, this will be a Play Anywhere title. So you can play it on your ROG Ally Xbox or your PC for one payment, you know, one price. You buy it once and you get to play it anywhere. Play it anywhere, play anywhere, play anywhere, play anywhere. It seems like they're doing the same thing they did with Game Pass 2 years ago and even a year ago, but they're trying to focus now on Play Anywhere titles to get people locked into an ecosystem where they'll buy these handheld systems, they'll buy these Xboxes, they'll buy their games, but they haven't conditioned their player base to buy games because they tried to get them all hooked on Game Pass. And now the fact that it seems like they're wanting to phase that out and pay less attention to Game Pass is showing that they're making missteps and doing this way too quickly, which they might have to because of like, the current profit margins or something like that. Like they might be really bad off and we just don't know it. And they might have to do this, but they are doing this in a way that is so aggressive, so quickly that it feels like they are just going to make no one happy and lose everybody in the process.
I mean, I think the reasoning's a bit more simple than what you think it is. I think they looked at their Call of Duty sales and they're like, hey, we left $300 million on the table last year. Let's not do that again. And I think that you look at the timing for the change. The beginning of November. You look at the fact that they took out the DLC and Call of Duty perks that they had, along with Game Pass. I think they're really kind of like, hey, we fucked up with this particular demographic, thinking that we would get more money from them, and we actually did not. So, and I think that's really what they're like. That will sink us. So we either need to increase the price, or we need to, kind of do things. Honestly, probably the smarter thing would have been to be like, hey, we're not going to include Call of Duty in Game Pass. Sorry. But they didn't want to do that because that would probably be them going back on another one of their promises. So, like, oh, we'll just...
That would have actually probably led to legal problems, because I'm pretty sure they claimed in the Activision buyout that Call of Duty would always be included in Game Pass.
Yeah, I don't know. But the FCC chair that was at the person who was the FCC chair at the time, I did see that. I don't know exactly what her quote was, but basically it sounded like she was like, yeah, go fucking figure. Who saw this coming when we were trying to stop this, a couple of years ago? Because they're like, oh, too big to fail. Well, no, obviously that's an issue. So, yeah, no, I think that Microsoft, if anything, they've, and I said this kind of when they started backpedaling from the console. What was it like? Was it last year when they kind of like rapidly kind of decelerated their stuff? Like they let themselves balloon out too much, and they couldn't handle it, and they didn't have a good vision for what they wanted to do. And as soon as things got a little rough, they just folded instantly and backpedaled on everything they did. And they put themselves definitively in this position, and now they're kind of stuck with kind of the poor choices that they made. They should have either stuck with what they wanted to do in the first place, or changed gears and fully invested in the second thing. And they really can't figure out what they want to do, and now they're just like, I don't know, languishing. Like they really just don't know what the fuck to do, and they're just fucking things up more. I almost feel like this was a very rushed decision where they really just did not think things through. So I don't know. I mean, they're going to get what's going to come to them, and it's probably not going to be pretty, whatever it is. I mean, I don't think it's going to make Microsoft fold out of the industry, but I think that it's probably going to be like to the detriment of any future consoles. I mean, I will say, there is an opportunity for them to come back. I mean, new generation consoles are kind of a soft reset. They can go in there, and especially if Sony makes missteps, as we've seen in like the 360, PS3 to PS4, Xbox One generation. Like if you're the top dog and you make some really big fuck ups, like someone can go in there and swoop in really easily. Like you will lose that brand loyalty just as fast as you got it. But presumably Sony is at least not that dumb at this point. But who knows? Because Sony at least, I feel like they've generated at least some reasonable goodwill over the last couple generations. They definitely have some weak points. They really kind of fucking up with some of their in-house development. Like they don't have it, but they have the third-party support, which is really what you need at the end of the day anyways. And their hardware is solid. So, it's, like we can complain about like some of the things like, oh, I wish they would utilize the hardware better. I wish they would, optimize games better. I wish, there was more Sony first-party games and more first-party game investments. Those are all legitimate things, but at the end of the day, they have a solid console with solid developer support, and Microsoft does not have those luxuries right now. So, Microsoft really is kind of screwing the pooch, really. So.
Yeah, Yeah, and I think if this was introduced over time and like maybe pulled back, like maybe even for like next year's Call of Duty, for instance, because let's be honest, this year no one gives a flying fuck about Call of Duty, and after playing the beta, I understand why. I think this could have been the year where they could have left that money on the table and could have worked out an exit strategy to kind of move closer to what they want now, which is a like more like keeping you locked in, kind of like Apple does with on on their hardware. Because Apple does this thing, and you know this. You use
Yeah.
Apple. You know this. Apple does this thing where you start relying on Apple, and then you feel like, oh, I can't go back to this, or I can't use this because I have my stuff here, and I have this here, and I have this here, and I have this here, which then makes you feel reliant on that company, and you just are like, well, I'll just get their new phone, I guess, or I'll just get their new laptop or whatever, that sort of thing. Apple is really good at getting people into their ecosystem and keeping them
Yeah.
there. I feel like Microsoft was going to try to do that, and they are, but they're doing it so quickly that they didn't have an exit strategy that didn't make them look like complete and total dickwads. And now we're at a point where people have already noticed that exit strategy, and it's coming back to bite them in the ass. And I think they could have taken a year to create this exit strategy and implement it. Like this year's Call of Duty is not important. I promise you, no one cares. The general consensus is no one gives a shit about Black Ops 7. And that's totally fair. This would have been the year to use to implement a sort of exit strategy to change around your company's like habits, and to get your players to join in with that sort of deal. Releasing the ROG Ally and giving it time. Releasing this, that, and the other and giving it time. Doing all of this stuff so quickly, though, without giving anyone really any time to prepare past the 2-month period, is really going to destroy them, I think, in the long run. But I think they could have exited out and lost maybe a couple of $100 million, which would have been a lot of money again on the table. But that versus what they're going to end up losing instead is like, much more detrimental to them, I think, personally. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. And I like Xbox. I like Game Pass. I've always said it is a great fucking deal. But looking at this, I can't in any way, shape, or form support this. It's as simple as that. I think this is really shitty, a really horrible way of doing this, and I also think it's legitimately a really dumb move to be doing this right now.
Yeah.
Like when they needed goodwill the most, when releasing a new console and a new form of console, they found the best way possible to ruin it. And I don't think that's good at all.
No, and I agree. Like they're and there's even ways that they could have probably handled if they wanted to do a price change, ways that they probably could have handled it to not piss off the community so absolutely much. Even like little things been like, hey,
Like I
we're
said,
gonna increase the price, but
exit strategy.
people who are already subscribed, your price is safe for, a year, as long as you're on auto renew and something like that. Would have been a much better way. People could have prepared for it, not just like,
Yeah.
hey, you got like 2 weeks.
That would have probably been so much better, and maybe not instantly destroy your rewards program.
Yeah.
Like legitimately scorched earth their rewards program. If they wouldn't have done that, I think they would have had a better. Because I'm like looking at this like my father. My father would have been like, yeah, they're going up in price, but it's next year, and I've got time to prepare. Plus, I've got a bunch of rewards points, so right now I'm okay.
Yeah, and people might
and
forget
he
about
would
the
have
price
stayed
change, when
locked
you're looking a year out. Like
a year later. And I know we are talking about this in like the scummiest way possible, but this is how these corporations work. But they didn't even do it in a smart, scummy way. They just fucking fell on their face like idiots and then fell down a fucking flight of stairs, apparently. So, I don't know, man. It's bad. It's really bad. I don't think there is any way that this can end well for Microsoft with what they are currently
No.
doing, unless, like I said, they reverse the decision.
Yeah, I don't know, and even at that point, like, I think
It might be too
yeah,
late.
I think
Yeah,
they probably
I
already
know.
burned a lot of that
It could
goodwill.
be a case of like how you remember how long people thought that you couldn't share games on the Xbox One?
Yeah.
It might be another case of that, or that the Kinect was required to use the Xbox
Mhm.
One. It might be a case of that where they've waited too long that even if they reversed the decision, that information was so adamant and so out there in the open that it's too late. You
Yep.
know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of crazy. It's crazy seeing this happen. And I legitimately do not know if this time next year Microsoft will still be a gaming company in the way that it is now.
Yeah, I mean, well, Microsoft isn't even the gaming company, say the same game company it was like 2 years ago.
Okay, but let's say Xbox. Like, I don't even know if Xbox will exist in like a year.
I mean,
Like as
I
a
think the brand will. Um, I
I think they might roll it into Microsoft Gaming and then just do like I said, the Play Anywhere thing with you can use your Microsoft Xbox, which is a thing like the Xbox Ally, but I don't think Xbox will be their brand. I think they'll go to like Microsoft Gaming and try to push Play Anywhere as a
No,
thing.
I think
I
they'll
think that's
keep
what's
the
going to
branding,
happen.
at least for now. I guess it depends on how much things fall apart. But as long as as long as they have all that significant developer underneath their wings, I think they'll
Hmm.
keep it as Xbox. But I think
Yeah,
the first sign will be if they start shuttering studios kind of in mass.
but they did.
Well, I'm just
Didn't they
saying even
just
more.
do
They
that
just did a bunch of layoffs. And
like yesterday?
supposedly there's supposed to be even more layoffs coming in January is what I had read.
No, I thought like one of their big studios got shut down like
Like
yesterday,
what?
didn't it?
I don't remember a big studio getting shut
Hold
down.
on, let me see. Xbox shuts down. Oh yeah, Contraband. Contraband's gone, which was the studio that made Just Cause. The Just Cause studio got shut down by Xbox like a few days ago.
Oh, no, I did not know.
Let me double check. I was reading it. Yeah, Avalanche Studios, the developer of the Just Cause series, is closing the UK-based Liverpool studio and restructuring its remaining teams in Sweden in response to the cancellation of their Xbox exclusive project Contraband. This was announced a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
So we are already seeing the
Mm-hmm.
fallout. They already canceled a big major title, and it also closed studios and calls restructuring of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's already happening, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, so we will see. It'll keep on going. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think it was a very poor decision. It was handled very poorly,
Yeah.
and honestly, if you had an Xbox Series S, I think the best way to play it was with Game Pass. And if that is no longer something you're going to
Yes.
support,
Absolutely.
then that system is useless now. Um,
It is completely
yeah,
useless.
at
Yes.
least with the Series X, you got
Because
backwards
like
compatibility. You can buy games on discs if you want, but Series S,
yeah, and currently Xbox disc games are very cheap because of their reliance on Game Pass. So I would say if there are any games that you specifically want and you are going to stick with an Xbox, that you go and buy you some disc-based games if you have a Series X, because you're going to find them for cheap because Microsoft has essentially made disc-based media obsolete using Game Pass. But I think Game Pass is being made obsolete via Microsoft in the coming future, and as such, you should go buy some disc for super cheap right now and continue your gaming on Xbox that way if you're going.
yeah,
So there you go.
there you go.
That's my thoughts on Microsoft as a whole right now. To be completely
Okay,
honest, it's a mess. It is absolutely a
yes, it
mess.
is. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
No.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't think I have anything else to talk.
Yeah, I only have just two quick blurbs, I suppose. Nintendo released a mysterious today.
Released, but no, I
A
could not hear.
mysterious video.
Oh, is it the Rosalina one as a kid?
Is that what it is?
Is that the one we're talking about?
It's
That's
like
what I
a
thought it
Pixar
was. That's
looking
what it looked
thing.
like.
People think it's related to Pikmin
Yes,
though.
yes.
Um,
Oh, I thought it was related to Rosalina.
yeah, no, they think it's a Pikmin thing. 'Cause apparently, I haven't watched it. I just saw like screenshots of it. But apparently,
It looks very Rosalina. She's wearing the
it
blue
does look
like
very
dress.
Rosalina-ish, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, apparently it's got like Pikmin music playing around, and there's some Pikmin references in there. But yeah, the baby does look very much
Mm,
like Rosalina. Um,
yeah.
I think if anything, it's probably more like a short that they'll probably play in for like the Mario movie, kind of like they did with the Pikmin shorts back in the day.
Mm,
Um, it's not like the MEO teaser from last year where they had like a Switch kind of logo on there. So even looking at it on the Nintendo Today app, it doesn't have any logo associated with it. So I'm thinking it's probably something more movie related since they bought those things. So that's one thing. TBD. We'll probably find out more. Second thing, and this is just kind of a nice treat, just because for people who listen to Nintendo Music and or kind of look and see what's there. Nintendo Music yesterday, the update was Thousand Year Door,
oh,
and
wait a
huh,
minute. Hold on. I looked. Let me look closer at this video one more time.
okay.
Hold on.
Well, you're looking at that. I'm just gonna finish saying what I'm saying. Um,
Oh yeah,
no, it's
sorry,
okay.
sorry, sorry.
So Nintendo Music, they released Thousand Year Door soundtrack yesterday, which is a great soundtrack, and they released both the Switch and the GameCube versions of it. So,
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
so people who want it do have both versions available to you right now. So, I think that was a kind of surprising update. I was like, oh, that one's really good. So, I still think it's really shitty how they're trickling out the music as slowly as fucking possible, but that one was nice. So,
Just like how they trickle out everything as slowly as fucking
yes,
possible.
exactly. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think that's it too. I'm like looking at the video, and there looks like there's some hints of like little things running around in the background, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I said it kind of seems like it alludes to Pikmin. I don't think it's a new game. I think it's just a short. Kind of right. It reminds me very much of like
Oh
the
yeah,
the
there's
Pixar shorts. I'm trying to say Pikmin when saying Pixar. Um,
is
it reminds me very much of like the Pixar
I
shorts, but yeah,
I wonder if that's Pikmin or something else.
could be. Who knows? Uh,
Maybe Chibi Robo.
no, because Chibi Robos. See, the thing is, Pikmin are supposed to be small enough that you may not see them, which is why I think it's more
Oh,
Pikmin.
Pikmin are invisible to human eye, but can be seen through your smartphone. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, thanks for that. That's I saw the Pikmin are invisible to human eye thing, but the rest of it, and it's like, okay, well, that's because it's an AR game. Got
Oh
it.
yeah. But maybe that's why. Maybe you just need your phone, and then you can see what's on the fucking video.
One of the comments says this is actually just an attempt for Nintendo to give women baby fever, so they'll create a new generation of Nintendo gamers.
Okay, fair.
Oh my
It's
god.
worked well for them for the last 40 years, so why not?
Yeah, I'm sure Japan has no problems right now with that.
All right, you ready to wrap up then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. All of our episodes are available on game-crunch.com. If you want to reach out to us, send us email gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon, final
Hey.
thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I got nothing.
And that's it. My name is Anastasia. Find me online. I'm Clash Pang with there or on your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game on.
I wandered into Game Crunch Town. Every shopkeeper wore a pixel crown. Say, hey kid, what the latest hit? But the price tag made my wallet quit. He said it's magic worth the gold. I said my budget's getting old. Game on, but the price is wrong. How it cost this much for a polygon? Game on, but I'm feeling con. Magical land, but my cash is gone.
I wanted to talk about something, but I didn't. I literally forgot to slot it in. I watched all of Peacemaker. That's out currently.
Is that the TV show you want to talk to me about?
Yes, I forgot about it.
I forgot about it too until just now when you were like, "Oh, I forgot to talk about a TV show." I heard it was good.
Peacemaker. It's really fucking good. It's so good. I laughed out loud quite a few times at the actual series. There's one episode left. There's one episode left, and this has gone from being like a very like campy, silly, over the top sort of deal to like very serious in like some of its implications. Like, the last episode, which was fucking crazy, which made everyone angry on the internet because we live in a world with actual Nazis, and they got really mad that Nazis are the bad guys. I'm not kidding. This is a thing that happened.
Oh no, no.
So,
I'm aware of how the internet is with these things these days.
Okay, so I will say this, right? For season 2, he's going back and forth between a dimension that he lives in and another dimension and everything. And essentially this other dimension is like the perfect dimension. It has everything he wants and everything he didn't have, and he's everything that he isn't in our dimension, in this dimension. And then, like, the last episode, he turns around the American flag, and there's a swastika on it instead of the stars. And it's like, oh shit. And they're like, how did you not notice the giant mural of Hitler they had hanging in the room? And he's like, I never even noticed it. He's like, I guess I wasn't paying attention. And they're like, you do know what this means. He's like, oh god. And they have to get out of there because one of the main characters is black, and she's just being chased down by all the people in this dimension, and they're shouting things like, one of them escaped, put her back in the camp, and they're like running her down, trying to catch her with trucks and lock her up and everything, and it's fucking nuts. The entire show is really funny, and it has a lot of really good social commentaries, and it's also really, really, really well written. Highly recommend watching it. Highly recommend watching it because it is just it's great. The one thing I would say to do if you haven't already is to watch the one James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. Because this takes place directly after it and references it many times because a lot of the same characters and characters tied to those characters are in this television show. So you only need to watch one movie, and it's a good movie. I'll tell you that right now, because James Gunn actually makes pretty decent movies, and the movies he's made that are DC are actually very good. So yeah, watch the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, and then watch this show.
Okay.
And it's great. It's really fun. I watched the entire thing up to current episode in 2 days.
Okay.
There are 15 episodes currently out, about 45 minutes to an hour long. Some of them are like 30 minutes, but yeah, that's what I've been doing pretty much.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. If you have HBO Max, it's on there completely uncut. You will want to see it uncut because it uncensored is fucking wild in some episodes. So yeah, but recommend it, and please do, if you can, sit down and watch it, and then let me know what you think, because I think this is probably one of the better quote-unquote superhero things I've seen in a very long time. Like, I like the anti or not really superhero shows like The Boys or like Deadpool, and I think this is the best one they've ever done of something like that.
Okay, well, good to know.
And John Cena's acting is actually fucking incredible, which is kind of impressive. Because, another wrestling guy, how's his acting going to be? His acting is fucking great. He is really good in this. He's very vulnerable. He's got like really emotional scenes, and he's like really, really good at acting. So yeah, highly recommend it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look. I think DJ was thinking or did watch it, so let's kind of see where that is.
It's awesome. You should watch the movie because it is important for context, and then watch the show.
Okay, let's see.